everybody. This is Terri Green. Welcome to the Green Room, and I'm so excited to have my first studio guest for the series is Mr. Anthony Freeman. Welcome, Anthony. You call yourself Ski. That's what we call you. And welcome to the Green Room.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I thought it was important since we've spent more than 30 years as friends. The music business, there's just a lot going on with us, and no one really knows exactly what we do, how we did it, why we did it, and why we came to Europe and why we survived Europe. So, there's more. So first of all, before we get into anything, I want you to just give me a little backdrop on childhood, growing up, people you knew growing up, and how you became younger Anthony Freeman.
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Strong Island?
Strong Island in the building.
Let's stop right there. What's wrong with, why do you call it Strong Island?
Because that's what it is. Strong Island's in the building.
Well, you know I lived in Manhattan, and I don't remember that being an important...
You know what? See, and that's the problem right there. See, everybody in the other boroughs is always talking about... Everybody in the other boroughs always thinking that Long Island is... When you mention Long Island, they always think about like
neighborhoods there.
So does Queens. But everybody be thinking that LI got like
So what was it like your neighborhood growing up? If you could be as candid as possible.
The thing is, I'm from Amityville, right?
Was that like the horror house?
That's exactly where the horror house was.
Wow, so you knew that. Was that a real house?
It's a real house.
So you grew up in Amityville, New York.
I've seen the house a lot of times. But the point is, Amityville, the Long Island got a hood, just like every other borough. So people don't understand that Long Island is...
Well, I know you 30 years, I know what it is.
Long Island is just as... has its parts that are just as hoodish as, anywhere else. So, and that's basically the part in Amityville where I grew up, you know what I'm saying?
So you grew up, but I think for people of color, black people, Latinos, we always have worn our street credibility with a badge of honor because it just kind of meant you kind of don't take shit and you just do what you have to do. And New Yorkers specifically, they have their own culture.
Yeah, New York is a different animal. But I'll tell you now, there was no other place that I would have rather grew up in because New York is just
I can't get my son out of New York, so something must be going on. He has about $1 left after his paycheck.
It don't matter. New York is that spot. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Big up to everybody in Cali. Big up to everybody in Atlanta and everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? But for me, New York is that spot. Yeah.
I mean, I know that my cousins in Harlem,
them uptowns,
they are wearing Air Force Ones.
Them uptowns,
400 pairs. I remember between Timberlands and Air Force Ones, I never seen so many shoes in an apartment. So I had to catch up with that. And shout out to my cousin Lisa, who I used to hang out with in Harlem, staying over. But so
you already know what my shoe game look like.
I do, and it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, why you don't sell the sneakers.
You know what my shoe game look like.
But we're gonna get into that later with the sneaker thing. But again, Amityville, growing up, I know you grew up with De La Soul before they were De La Soul. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, I grew up living right across the street from Paul Houston, Prince Paul, wow. the original producer from De La. Wow. And we've been friends since like the 7th grade, something like that, 6th grade, something like that. Prince Paul back then. There was no Prince Paul. Yeah. It was but we've been really good friends since we were children, and the same is with the rest of De La. Right. We've all been good friends for a very long time. Me and Mace was before De La were put together. Me and Mace were in a group together. Mace is the DJ from De La. Mm-hmm. And me and him were together in a group. And then...
Stop. So you actually were rapping with De La Soul?
Yeah.
So you could have been a part of the group?
Yeah. I guess I could have. Yeah, so whatever way you want to put it.
I mean, first we got to take a second just to shout out Dave and his family, and just say, before I ever met you, I met De La through you, but the band was just phenomenally part of the legendary history of hip hop.
Yeah, definitely.
I was honored to just hang out for a few minutes because I was one of those me, myself, and I mean, they were badass. So, you know, to know you and to have that connection, just to meet someone who's been there solid for decades was
I won't even go into the whole situation about Dave, but I will say this. Dave, you are truly missed, bruh. And you were a good friend, bruh. And I remember when I needed some lyrics, bruh, you know what I'm saying, for a song, I remember you immediately sent them to me, man, all the way here in Germany. And I always appreciate you doing that, bruh. I appreciate it to my very core. And like I said, you will always be missed, bruh. And long live the other two brothers from De La, Mace and Merce, man. I love y'all to death. So keep doing y'all. And like I said again, Prince Paul, yo, you my brother. You know that. So it is what it is. L.I.
Okay, the L.I. or the it was. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't think I've ever heard you. I mean, I'm looking at your face and you have emotion. You're very quiet, very laid back dude, but I can see that you feel for these guys. And, you know, you lost a friend and the industry lost a legend.
Absolutely.
We won't, you know, go too much deeper into that, but I just want to say that your career has lasted about 25, 30 years in Germany. So jump a little bit into how did we meet? Because that's what I want to know. Inquire what my eyes want to know. How did you meet Miss T.T.?
Yo, we were both in a place called Kaiserslautern, Germany. K-Town.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
you were begging me for a record deal?
Get out of here, whatever. And a friend of mine, Carlos, who was what exactly was he in your?
Carlos
was he in your group or?
No, Crazy knew him. We
have a friend named Crazy,
which is the craziest the word says.
But that's my dude.
And when Crazy mentioned he knew a singer that we should maybe try to bring on the Terri stuff, and so when I was doing house and dance music back then, and yeah, he brought Carlos, and then Carlos said, "I got a friend."
Yeah.
And I think that's how I met you.
Yeah, that's exactly how that happened.
And at one point, I listened to him sing. You know, he's a cousin of Keith Washington. Mm-hmm. I was like, you shouldn't be my backup singer. You need to have your own record deal.
Yeah, this dude is bad. And then the
next thing I met Tony Couture from Fun Factory. Was in a restaurant one night. The night I got electrocuted by this idiot telling me to grab these two poles, and I did it. And I almost killed my damn self. And Tony was at the table, and I said, you need to check this cat out. And he gave him his number, and then the rest is what happened after that.
Actually, what it was is
because Jonestown is still famous in the UK. Like, people love that record.
What happened was we came up here to Hamburg to Studio 33 because of a hookup.
Producing.
Yeah, the Modern Talking producer, because of a hookup that you had.
Did we even know what Modern Talking was?
No,
Everybody
I didn't.
was mad at us in Germany because we never heard of it. Dieter Bohlen was standing in my face going, do you know me? I'm like, no, I never heard of this group, so sorry.
But because of the hookup from you, we had ended up coming up here, and things didn't work out in 33. So actually that night, we were going back to Kaiserslautern, and Carlos was like, yo, let's go see this dude, Tony Couture. And we went over there.
Reach him anyway,
yeah, well, we went over there. We got hooked up with him, and the rest of that is history, you know.
Wow.
It is what it is.
And so you guys, Jonestown you guys hung out with, what to say, Puffy, but actually he was in Germany.
No, actually, when
almost getting signing to Bad Boys.
When he was here, we did hang out with him.
Yeah.
And
J-Lo too?
And J-Lo.
Yeah.
And as she was here. Yeah, I mean, but you know, that all came about through Tony Couture had something to do with doing one of the tours over here that Puffy had did
for Bad Boys.
For Bad Boy,
yeah.
Yeah, so you know, he was really in good with Puff, because that's, like you said, At one particular point in time, they were even talking about doing a Bad Boy Europe here in Germany, and Tony was supposed to be in charge of that.
Bad Boy thing, and I don't want to be scandal.
Nope.
What I will say is this: as an adult person, as a parent, as a African American musician, my interest in people's personal life is getting very, very reduced in how I follow all of that. And the chips fall where the chips may, but it's not entertaining for me to see people go through stuff. It never has been, never will be. And I just think it's entertaining for us to watch people go through drama. You know, you will pay the price for the things you do or did not do and things like that. But I just think that it's become just entertainment.
I will say Puffy is a grown man.
Right.
And Puffy's choice to do whatever he decides to do is his business. It's nobody else's business. Whether or not it had something to do with anyone underage or something like that, that's a total different story. But with all of that out of the way, if it's only about adults consenting to do what adults want to do, that's his business.
Right.
Ain't nobody else's business. So they shouldn't even have a say in what he's, you know,
and like I
what
said,
he's doing.
I knew
So
Kim,
it is what it is.
Through Chaz, our friend, a mutual friend, and I will say that the children were lovely. I know Quincy, and Kim was lovely. She was like a beautiful, beautiful human being. So I just hope her children are good. So for me, it's not funny to watch any of this. It's like moving on, you know. I don't talk on it too much. I will say we were talking about Bad Boy, but dude has done some incredible records. The music business is a monster where everybody want to get on. You remember when we wanted to get on? We wanted to get on, and then once you're on, you realize maybe the deal wasn't good as you should have had it, or you have made some choices you shouldn't have made. But I made every choice I made as an adult.
Absolutely.
So if I took 1 point or 7, that's on me.
Absolutely.
So 30 years later, if I'm talking about you could have walked away at the beginning. That's my thing I say to people. I mean, you didn't have to stay.
It's always also about your ability to know the knowledge of the record business, because that's exactly what it is. Record business. Big ass word, business. So if you don't know the business, and a lot of us came into it without knowing the business, we just knew that we wanted to be where we saw other people at.
Right. And it's no different from working in casino business, working in used car sales.
Business is business.
You will get ripped if you don't know the business. So
simple as that.
As much as we want to be spoon-fed information, now young people today, they actually have the internet. You can look publishing up. You know, we learned all that. They
have the internet, but they also have the wisdom of the people who came before them. True. So noticing the people that came before them, how they suffered a certain situation.
Work for us.
No. But because it's working for them because of, like you just said, the internet and things like that. It didn't work for us because we ain't had no internet, so we ain't know.
We had to look at the thesaurus.
We ain't know what Marvin Gaye was going through and this and that. You know what I'm saying? We
only heard the stories.
We heard the stories afterwards. You know, so we heard the stories afterwards. These kids these days are hearing the stories as they happen. You know what I'm saying? So they know exactly what to avoid.
Right.
So
what are you doing now? How did you get from K-Town to Hamburg? We know. But so how have you lasted this long?
I've lasted
and
this.
You look relatively young.
I've lasted this long, and stop it. I've lasted this long, I guess, because of a tenacity to keep doing this music thing. It's always been a passion since New York. So coming up here and getting into what I do right now is I'm in a group called Fun Factory. Shout out to
They had top 10, I think, in the U.S. or top 20 back in the day. I was a fan. I don't know if you were a fan of, "Go baby, talk to me." Yeah, that was my choice. Because I like eurodance. Most of the people singing it didn't like it. I loved it. I love eurodance. I love country. You know me. Y'all almost were always picking on me for being so crazy, but I'm owning it. Like, I listen to the Eagles and the Carpenters on Saturday. Yeah.
But shout out to the rest of the crew. You know?
Yeah.
Shout out to Balja, Tony, and Steve. Y'all know what it is.
But you keep fit, man. Y'all got to be out there doing dance routines at 50. I'm like, whoa, that's hot.
We do what we do.
And so you also work with one of Germany's biggest artists,
Alex Christensen.
Yes, you're on tour. People see you on TV, major TV shows doing, featured rapping.
We've done things with Anastasia. Mm-hmm. I mean the thing that has kept me in the game is not only the fact that I'm able to go out here and do these shows and do things like that, but it's also the writing. Right. So I'm able to write for other artists, so that helps as well.
That's kind of what we both did as a major part of our career.
And
we weren't really artists in the beginning. We were, but you gave me also the hook. I mean, you can talk about how we did that, but how did I get on the Sarah Connor record? Because I don't know how I got in the studio. Because she's Germany's biggest female singer.
Sarah Connor. First of all, shout out to Sarah. That's my girl. What happened is we were in the studio, me and Bulin Aries, shout out to Bulo. We were in the studio doing some songs for the album for her. Mm. And it just happened to come to me that I was like, you know what? My girl write too. And she, and when we write together, we come up with dope songs. You know what I'm saying?
You steal my lyrics, but we'll talk about that.
Whatever.
My mom's suing you
whatever.
Right now. Get some glitter and gold. She's still trying to sue. Yeah.
Whatever. So I was like, yo, when we come together, we write dope songs. So I was like, yo, Beulah, we should get Terri to come into the studio and see if we can write a song for Sarah as well. Yeah. And that's how it came about. Then I call you up, hit you up, come in the studio.
Yeah, I'm really grateful. Thank you. It was a really good highlight. It was a great highlight in my career, not a good one. It was a great chance for me. It gave me credibility as a writer. I just say thank you.
I mean, but come on, you had credibility as a writer beforehand.
I did, but see, as time went on, she got more famous even than she was. So
absolutely.
People now look at it and go, you wrote for her. And I'm like, yeah, but we wrote for, I've had 1,000 singles. People are like, no, you didn't. Yeah, like Avicii's first big remix was my original song. Mm-hmm. So we have stuff like that in our career where you're not going to think some black folks sitting over in Hamburg actually did anything that's global, but we really were involved in the global music business. Your father, your most important, I think the most important job you've ever done is be a good dad. I've watched you be a great dad to your kids. What's been the toughest thing being an artist and being a parent?
Having to miss certain things while you're on the road, and when you have to, like, my kids still live in Kaiserslautern, right. And having to come back then, having to, when they were younger, having to come up here or other places to go into studios or being on tour, right. And having to tour all around and missing a lot of their growing up. That is the hardest part, and I regret that every day.
Yeah, I feel you, and I have a son, and he, a lot of therapy. We made it through.
What's up, Brandon?
Yeah, but he's a designer in New York, and he got a lot to say about everything. But the one thing, if I could go back in time, I would take a rug or a blanket, and I just sit and look at him because I miss him being small.
I understand that. Me too. Yeah. So before we finish that, so let me just look into this camera and say, Aaron, Taji, Sarah, yo, Dad loves y'all. Y'all know that. All right, let's get it. We can keep going.
Some old black folk come trying to.
Yo, that's
No, I mean that's love, and I love them. Not every dad is like you, so your kids got to know what they got in having you for a father. Just to finish up one more section of the podcast, I wanted to ask you, what's next? Like, what do you still want to do that you have not done? And don't say move back to the States, because I don't think you're going back to the States.
Not no time soon. But what I would really love to do is do a solo R&B album.
Yep.
I would love to do a solo R&B
why
album.
You're not bringing Sweet Thing back out. Sweet Thing, my love, such a sweet thing. I'm a kind of late. I can't rap though, so I had a rap record. Don't try to. You know, I got bars.
I know you got skills. I know you got skills.
I forgot the text.
I know you got skills.
I knew your whole rap. Yeah, we got to show that video. That was a great video. It looked just like one of those Bad Boy videos. I think that was the idea.
I think that was the idea.
Look at YouTube.
I think that was the idea. Unfortunately, but it wasn't my idea.
But Jonestown was this group, and it was called Sweet Thing. It was a big hit. UK still playing it.
Sweet thing, my loving is a sweet. Hey, lady.
These drinks must be getting this.
Whatever.
This dude. Shout out to my Soras at Delta Sigma Theta. I love y'all. Hey. I gotta get hooked up with LA, man. They're having a good time. Congratulations to my Sora. I won't put her name on blast on the podcast. She's now managing Tyler, and Tyler is really blown up. So we doing big things in the Delta world. But we are the Divine Nine, they call it, which is all the Greek sororities. And it doesn't make you more or less or whatever. You know, we just support each other, support black culture, black people. I went to a HBCU, Historically Black College and University, and I can assure you that it is way more fun than going to other schools. And everybody tried to go. They used to think we had a lesser education back in the day. No, we didn't.
I just had more fun, huh?
We had way more fun. Every night was Mad Dog 2020.
Oh,
you remember
Lord.
that? I used to do.
Lord.
You ever had Mad Dog 2020?
Yo, I drunk that.
The next show.
Excuse me, I almost said that. I drunk that stuff while I was in when I was in AIT.
What's AIT?
In the military. That's the.
Oh, you were a soldier. I forgot that you were a soldier.
That's school and military. Yes, I did a couple of years I did like almost 9 years in the military. And we had some when I was in school. It was a weekend, so we was off, and it was the first time like one of my boys, Gil, he had brought some daggone because we was in Georgia anyway. So and he was already country. He was from Georgia, and he brought me.
Say Georgia's country?
Georgia's country. Georgia's country, but. I'm not gonna say all of it. I'm like Augusta and things like that. Hey, I can't.
From Augusta,
my mom is from Augusta, so it is what it is. I've been down there all the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But my point is, I had never had no Mad Dog 2020. He knew exactly what it was. He went and brought it back to the daggone barracks, man. Oh my God, I couldn't even get up the next morning.
Just a little educational too. Mad Dog 2020 is the most hardcore, pure. You just drinking rubbing alcohol. You drinking rubbing alcohol.
That's what you're drinking
with color in it, and that's what the winos drinking. When I walk down in Tallahassee, when I would be going to the store,
winos.
Somebody be going, "Hey girl, come over, let me tighten up on the panties." They just saying stuff like that with a bottle of Mad Dog. So that's what Mad Dog do to you. Wow. Anyway, we're not advertising Mad Dog. Just saying, yo, but
Mad Dog is some rock gut stuff. You do not want to drink that.
Ski anything. Anyway, I just want to say thank you for being a part of my career.
It's always a pleasure.
A lot of songs.
Absolutely.
You write a lot of freaky songs too. I just want to put that out there. Your songs always be about sex, and I don't get. That's a whole other episode that we got to talk about. That's
a whole nother episode.
But I mean, I guess that's black men in America. Might be African men too. I have to interview.
Yo, it's for me. R&B songs are about that sensual thing. You know what I'm saying? It's always.
We could go there. Now, do you think black folks have a specific?
Lord.
Now, I'm just trying to get to the good.
Oh,
Why
Lord.
do black folks like to talk about it?
Because black folk are sensual folk.
Yeah, and you think other people aren't sensual?
Other people are sensual, but other people ain't sensual. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
We might have to cut this out.
It's crazy.
Lord help me, Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
Anyway, Ski, I want to thank you. This flowed like butter. What flows? Butter don't really flow.
Butter don't really
flow like syrup.
It's syrup.
Wait,
syrup flows.
Syrup flows. Yeah. But I want to say thank you because I couldn't imagine not the reason I wanted to do this is to highlight my incredible friends, all the stuff that we've done in our careers where people, some of us could be in Guinness Book of World Records for the things we've achieved and come into a country where we didn't speak the language. We speak German now, but we didn't when we got there. And I think that people are curious about how we did it. And I get asked all the time, so just like all the Shay Shays and Kikis and BBs, I just decided let's just do it our own, do it on our own. And
I still get asked why we still doing it.
Ooh, who asked you that?
No, really, no. It's because people ask me. No, please.
These hurt when you did.
Please. People ask me, why are we here? Because of the situation. They be like, yo, why are you not back in New York doing this? Why are you not in LA doing this? Why are we not?
I think it was more easy. It was easier for us being very unique in the environment versus you with 75,000 rappers in New York. I think you got a quicker look.
I think it's easier to maintain it over here. It's much easier to maintain
I'm
it.
still in the club talking about put your hands up in the air.
And this is what I'm saying.
I should be out of the club by now. Me, David Guetta, all of us have been still in the club. Our kids are doing parties and they're 25 now, and we're still in the club talking about.
It is what it is, though.
So shout out, first of all, congratulations to Crystal Waters, who is, we've been in it a minute, and she's doing her first modeling contract at this point.
Her first what?
Modeling contract.
Wow. She got a modeling contract in New
York. So these are the things that are happening. Shout out to the Weather Girls. We got a project called The Soul Machine that's coming where I'll be featuring some American musicians.
What's up, D?
Weather Girls for Donnell Rose, my best BFF. She's going to kick off with her single Super Love real soon. So all of that's going on. My radio show, The House Crunch, is going on still since 2008. I've been doing that crap since... actually, my friend here, Shirley, his wife... the Basement 34, his wife, she was the original consolidator of the show for me. So we barely could keep it running because I was a mess. But we did it, and it's lasted. So now we have stations all over the world. And
that's what's up.
That's why I haven't kind of stopped it. But thank you, Ski.
Thank you for having me.
And cheers, man. Let's get that cheers in.
Absolutely. Oops.
You're making a mess up in here.
You know what it is. So, thank you for having me here. Shout out to, you know what? I'm going to do it like the black folk do it. Hey, yo, bro, shout out to, yo, I'm going to say shout out to my man Carlos for, holding us down when we was doing Jonestown. Shout out to my man Crazy, for sure.
And a special thank you to Basement 34, my host and coordinator and director and producer. Appreciate you. And I hope to see you guys for the next episode.